So hi everyone, thank you for coming to the documentary short film section of the third Dorking Film Festival. We have a quick Q&A with Colin Lewis, who's the director of the film Samuel Cody and His Flying Machines. So thank you, Colin. So I'll start with the first question. Can you tell me a little bit about how the film came about, Colin?
Well, I was working at the Royal Aircraft Establishment many years ago as a medical officer. And this man Cody kept cropping up time and time again. At the aerospace establishment they had a museum, and it had a lot of detail, photographs and so on about the man, and a lot of folklore that covered him as well. Just recently a new museum dedicated to that first aircraft he produced opened up, and I saw my opportunity here to make a documentary about a man that I thoroughly admired and got quite passionate about. And I think those are two key ingredients you need to make a good documentary. Well, I hope a good documentary. Anyway, so it was on that basis really that I got going. I first of all made a 1-minuter about him, and that was quite a challenge. And I thought then I would then expand into a full documentary about his life, but concentrating on this unique performance of being the first man to actually take off in powered flight in this country.
Okay, so the main guy, or the main chap you were talking to at the museum, was it difficult to find him, or did you have to talk to a few people to get the right person, so to speak?
Yes, it took a bit of research, but I was extremely lucky to have people who are so passionate about Samuel Cody. Not only the lady, Jean, who actually had thoroughly investigated his life as a consequence of living in the very same house that Samuel Cody did, but also the museum assistants who knew absolutely everything about this man. So the problem was to try and trim down and still make it quite interesting without making it too technical about his life and that machine. That full-size replica is quite something, and I'd only wished they'd gone ahead and had enough funds to make a flying example of that very first aircraft.
Okay, so how long was the original cut?
The original cut, I suppose, in footage was like anything else, about 5 times the actual final edited cut. Lots of bits and pieces went in there. So it was nice to play around with a lot of choice there, and it naturally felt into a very nice start, middle and ending from those passionate people being interrogated.
Okay. Was there anything that fell by the wayside at the last minute which you really wanted to include but you couldn't?
Technical problems. That was recorded live actually at the museum, and the A325 goes right past it, so there was a lot of footage just ruined by a lot of noise at certain times. And as you know, in editing you just cannot take out that noise with the best sound noise reduction that you've got, so I had to forsake that.
Okay, and the actual terms of the production making it, was it a solo effort, or were you making it with a film club or something?
Very much a solo effort. They were interested and gave me advice on it, but in terms of actually shooting it and editing it, that was largely a solo effort.
Okay, Thank you, Colin. Right, so I'm going to throw it open to the audience. Do you have any questions from the audience about Colin's film?
Oh, great. Well,
I thought it was an interesting bit at the end. So the person who was talking at the end was saying how she didn't think he was very popular, or would rather been someone else. But obviously the archive that we had showed that there was a lot of people who were actually lining the route funeral.
that's right, 100,000 turned up for his funeral, but there was a lot of politics, you see, involved with that, particularly with the British Army. And they were very selective on how they were going forward, and rather thought that Cody was a very much bit part in the whole evolution of getting up into the skies. So it was the British Army, the politics, the government who were favouring these other characters that I made very little reference to actually in the documentary, that was thought to have a preference. But at the end of the day, this wild showman who had no engineering background whatsoever, did everything by trial and error with very little support, was able to come first and get that plane powered off the ground.
Okay, anyone else? Right, one more from me. Do you think that Samuel Cody is underappreciated or relatively unheard of in the UK?
Well, relatively unheard of, and there's so much about him that I just couldn't cover, that I think one could make a series, 12-hour-long episodes detailing his incredible life to great justice.
Okay, and what are you going to make next, Colin?
Inspiration. I mean, that was lucky being there, seeing it, being infused with him. The documentary just had to be made. So I'm waiting for that next moment to get the material to really get my teeth into something. So no fixed plans for anything on the drawing board at the moment.
Okay. Well, thank you to Colin Lewis.
Thank you.